Good afternoon. You're listening to WQKE LP 93.9 FM out of Plattsburgh, New York. You are currently tuned into your 3 o'clock sports report with Desmond and Liam. Desmond, 2 weeks left of the semester. How you hanging up?
I'm so happy it's almost over.
It's very, very nice out here in Plattsburgh.
It is. It's actually 70 degrees. It's very nice.
So I would say it was a pretty good weekend in sports for sure.
Pretty solid.
Yeah, a lot of action coming from our leagues that start with an N in front of their name. NBA, NHL. See what I'm saying?
Hockey.
Exactly.
Hockey. That's all I have to say.
We're going to get Desmond to watch. We really only have 4 shows left. I was thinking about this today, including this one.
Yeah.
During the semester. So we'll the last episode will probably give you our thoughts going out. But yeah, definitely tune in. These last 4 shows are going to be good ones. Definitely a lot of time dedicated to the current playoffs going on. But besides that, let's get right into it. Let's talk about the NFL. Desmond, what do you have?
We'll start off with the NFL. Only 2 really notable things have happened. First, this happened like an hour ago. The Giants decided to cut James Bradberry after failing to find a trade for him. Makes sense. They couldn't find a trade because he wanted to get paid a lot of money, and teams didn't want to pay him a lot of money while also trading for him at the same time. So they just decided to cut him. I don't mind the move. Saves a lot of cap. Yeah, he's a very good player, but we need the cap space a lot more. And the other news is that former, I'd assume All-Pro, I'm not looking at the stats right now, but I'd hope he'd make an All-Pro. Former All-Pro safety Earl Thomas is on the run from Dallas police after threatening to poison his wife. Now, my dad sent me this text this morning. It said, imagine being in a locker room with Earl Thomas, Marshawn Lynch, and Brandon Browner. For those of you who don't know who Brandon Browner is, he was a corner who played for the Broncos and the Seahawks, who was convicted of attempted murder back in 2018. He was now serving an 8-year sentence. So a very scary locker room, I guess. I mean, people kind of knew that Earl Thomas was a little crazy. People knew Marshawn Lynch was a little crazy. And I didn't really know much about Brandon Browner before his whole thing, so I can't tell you if he was a little interesting character or not. But with that, like I said, that's really all there is, so I guess we'll just get right into Weddle.
Yeah, it's definitely sad to see, to kind of that.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of knew that he was getting a little crazy after the whole flipping off the fan situation and then getting in a fight with the... What team was he on at that point when he got in a fight with his teammates? Was he on the Texans? I know he's on the Ravens, but... No, I don't know. He got in a fight with teammates and then he got caught. So that's how that went down. And that will start with Weddle. Start with always do. Daniel Jones.
Before we keep going here, it's just this brings into conversation that whole...
This is going to be a quick Weddle.
Oh, no. This brings in the whole CTE thing that always gets talked about.
Yeah.
I wish, I think my biggest change in the NFL, I wish doctors could develop a way to test for CTE without people, having to be passed away. Did you know that? Yeah, did you know that?
No, I know.
Okay,
that's why Junior Seau did what he did.
Yeah, and the doctor who discovered CTE literally said, he's like, I'd bet my medical license that O.J. Simpson has, a very chronic case of CTE. And, when Aaron Hernandez, when they donated his brain to science, it was the worst case of CTE they had ever found in someone of that age. It's just unbelievable, something to always think about when it comes to football. Sorry.
All right, so, yeah, this is going to be a quick one because both NFC East and quarterback are green. And
we have 3 options.
He's under 6'5".
Is it Dak?
It's got to be Dak. It's Dak Prescott. All right.
2 guesses.
That means we can get on to hard really quick. Start off like we always do.
That's almost a record right there for us.
Yeah, because we've never gotten one of the first. All right. Start off like we always do. Andrew Thomas. So he's not on offense. He's in the NFC. He's under 6'5". So we'll go with a corner. And a corner in the NFC, Carlton Davis for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So we know he's defensive. He's under 6'1", but he's not a corner, so that tells me he's a safety. So I know I think Harrison Smith is taller than 6'1", but we'll go with safety.
Yep.
Harrison.
Yeah, he's
Smith.
6'2". Good guess though.
In the NFC North too, so that's good.
That's Bears.
He's between 25 and 33. We have Bears, Packers. I think it might
Lions.
be Adrian Amos. Nope, but he's 6 foot tall. And so we have the Bears.
Whoa, that's good.
Who I don't know the safeties on the Bears or the Lions. I definitely don't know the safety on the Lions. I think Eddie Jackson might be a corner, but I don't know. It's Eddie Jackson. Okay, he is a safety. I thought he was. I think he used to play corner, but transitioned to safety. So I wasn't sure. But actually, funny story. My dad actually bought an Eddie Jackson autographed jersey like the other day for like $19.
Why? Just cause?
Because it was cheap. You can't get like any autographed jersey for $19. You got to go on like a very solid player like Eddie Jackson. But excuse me. With that, we'll move on to the NBA. And I mean, in terms of news, the only news is announced this morning that Nikola Jokic has won his second consecutive MVP. I agree. I agree. If one of Giannis, Embiid, or Jokic won, I would not have complained. I like Jokic a lot. I like all three of those guys a lot. So I really have no bias against either one. So I'm glad to see Jokic win his second consecutive one. A lot of the arguments being made about why he shouldn't is very dumb, but
I think my final argument for anyone who debated this actually slid up on someone's Snapchat story about this today. Is just look at we've talked about it in the show so much, but look at the starting five he carried to a 6 seed.
Yeah,
the fact that they even won a game against the Warriors, just to go show how dominant it is, and like his statistic. I think, honestly, I don't really have the argument for Embiid in my mind, but I kind of do for Giannis, because Giannis is
I think there's an argument for Embiid because, I mean, not only is he very close to Jokic offensively, he's a much better defender than him.
Yeah, he is. And
obviously, Jokic is a playmaker.
And I think there's a good argument for Giannis, too, because Giannis is he's all over the court, everywhere, doing everything. But Jokic, like, you just look at his stats, I think he led the league in triple-doubles, right?
I think so, probably. I don't know who else.
And, like, if you just looked at his stats every night, they weren't, like, Embiid stats. Like, Embiid would be like, I can remember a lot of Embiid stat lines would be like just 42 points, like 3 assists. Like Embiid or Jokic would do it all. He would score, he'd play make. Like, you want to hear a good analogy someone told me today?
What?
That like Luka and Jokic are like basketball players, and like people like Ja are like just really good athletes. Like they're built like basketball. They're built to play like basketball. Like like someone like Ja.
That sounds a little. Where did you say you found this?
Someone told me this. Like a family member was talking to me about this. Like you look at their.
How old was this family member?
No, he's like 28.
That's such a. I don't want to say racist, but just hearing two slow white guys. They're built to play basketball, I know that's obviously not at all the way it's meant. But just in my mind, I'm like, oh my goodness.
Can I clarify? It's not because of their color. This is definitely one of the more embarrassing moments on the show. That's not because funny. Of the color of their skin. It's because of just they're like.
No, I understand.
Like their build.
Jokic and
they're not athletes. They're not built like
Jokic
athletes.
And Luka are two very slow, fundamental.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Where
Ja's just
still shoot. He's got it.
Ja's everywhere on the court. I don't know. Stop. Why'd you even say that?
It popped up in my mind. I'm like, oh my god.
What age was this person?
Oh I was like, this sounds like something I'd hear from like a 40-year-old.
Not even a 40-year-old, like a 60-year-old.
Yeah.
They would have been like, fundamental basketball. Like,
Anyways, we'll move on to the playoff series. I'm not going to break down each game because like each game has played 2 series since the last show, and that would take all day. So let's go by each series individually. But Suns and Mavericks. The Suns started the series off 2-0, but the series is now tied 2-2 after back-to-back Chris Paul stinkers. Fouled out in the last game, had more fouls than points. Did not play very well in Game 3 either. A player that I've been enjoying to watch this playoffs as a whole, who's really been stepping up, especially the last game where he hit 8 threes, is Dorian Finney-Smith. Making that contract he signed earlier in the season, I think it was like 4-year, $50 million, something like that, looking like a steal in all honesty. And I mean, if the Suns lose, it's probably going to be it's going to be the most disappointing loss in the entire playoffs. Because
100%.
1 seed, 63 wins to lose to a team who really outside of Luka, unless Dorian Finney-Smith is hitting 8 threes again, which he's not going to, they don't have much offensively going for them. But yeah, that series is now tied 2-2. I don't know when they play their next game. I'm going to look that up really quick.
I think it's tomorrow.
I'd assume it's tomorrow. Let me check real quick. Tuesday, May 10th.
And there was that whole story going around about Chris Paul's family yesterday.
Yeah, apparently some fan harassed Chris Paul's family. And the way I look at that, if that happens, the NBA player should be allowed to just go into the stands. Malice at the palace. Take the guy down. That
is not a valid take.
Yeah, I think it is. I know Charles Barkley said something about how they should deal with fans. I didn't watch the whole video, but knowing Charles was probably something to the extent of what I said.
That was definitely a Charles Barkley comment.
But with that, we'll move on to the Heat and 76ers series. Heat also started off the series 2-0, but it's now also tied 2-2. Philly they've been playing very well since Embiid came back, and it just shows how important he is to that team. Hence why he should have been in the MVP conversation. And when I say this, I don't mean I'm saying he should have won it, but arguably you can make the argument that he should have won MVP.
Yeah, and also, but like look at his stat lines the last 2 games; they haven't really been crazy.
But
either.
It's just the fact that he's on the court.
Yeah, you said it best to me the other day that it takes a lot of the pressure away from the role players.
Yeah. Harden's also been playing very well. I think he had like 4 threes in the fourth quarter.
He had a good game
the last
yesterday.
game. He played very well. And, I mean, when you have both Harden and Embiid on the floor and Harden remembers how to play basketball, then it's a very scary team that I've said before can win it all. It's just Harden has just lost a lot offensively recently. So, and I don't have much on the series besides that. Kyle Lowry's been playing very bad. I know that. Jimmy Butler has been playing very well, but no one else really has been.
Yeah, for a team that's built to be like a really solid 1 through 5, it's amazing how much they rely on Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
Something that's really kind of shocked me is that they gave Duncan Robinson like this big 5-year $90 million deal, and they haven't played him in like the last 3 games, which is very crazy to me.
Yeah, I don't think he's played like 2 minutes in the playoffs.
But that move on to the Warriors and Grizzlies game series, where we have the Warriors who are up 2-1 in the series. Game 4 is tonight. Curry, Clay, and Jordan Poole are just too much for the Grizzlies to handle straight up. Ja's doing all he can. He had like a 47-point near triple-double in Game 2, I believe.
Such a good game.
That basically won the Grizzlies game.
Half-court buzzer beater?
I did see that.
That was sick.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing all he can, even if it's not the most efficient.
Well, when you're forced to take every shot.
And the guys who are coming back at you are Curry, Jordan Poole, Clay.
Exactly. You're not going to have the most efficient game. You're still going to have a good game, though, and then he's hurt.
Yeah, another notable thing from the series is Jonathan Kuminga started, I believe it was game 2 or 3, the youngest player to ever start in an NBA game. He's only 19 years old. I've said, well, I don't...
NBA game or playoff game?
Playoff game. I mean playoff game. I've said it before that I'm very high on Jonathan Kuminga, especially as a defensive player, and his offense has looked a lot better than I thought it would this season. Yeah, I mean, that's really all I have to say. Last series we have, my favorite one to watch so far is the Celtics and Bucks. Bucks right now are up in the series 2-1, but Game 4 is tonight. I've said it before after Game 1 when the Bucks kind of blew out the Celtics. What?
Oh, I'll get to it.
Okay. What?
My favorite pitcher is pitching a no-hitter right now.
I saw the Texans were getting no hit. Is that or the Texans, the Rangers? Is that who? Okay.
We'll talk about it when we get to baseball.
But anyways, the Celtics and Bucks. I said after Game 1 when the Bucks kind of won by a decent amount that they won by, I believe it was like almost 20, with literally everyone on the Celtics playing bad, especially Jalen and Jason. Then they both come out in Game 2, play well, and blow the Bucks out. But now Game 3 comes around. Jason Tatum shoots like 3 for 10 or something like that. Played very, very poorly. I think it was way worse than 3 for 10. Played very poorly, and they lose by only 1. And I've said multiple times that the Celtics can beat any team in the NBA, especially the Bucks, with Jason and Jalen playing consistent. Because at that point, you're going to have the defense to shut down any star. I mean, Giannis did drop 40, but considering Giannis dropped 40 and you lost by 1 on a layup that, let's be real, Al Horford should have hit.
Easily should have hit that.
It's just, I'm not going to complain about Al Horford because he had a great game. He's been playing great defense on Giannis. But it's just right now, they need Jason and Jalen, especially Jason, because he's had 2 bad games now in this series to step up. Because if those 2 can step up and play like they have been in the regular season, like they did in the first round, they could potentially go to the finals and maybe win it all. I have it right here that I think that the winner of the series is going to the finals. The only team that I think can stop either team is Philly if Harden can play well. If Harden can go back to scoring the 30 he used to, which I don't see him doing, then I think Philly can beat either team because Giannis on Embiid is a great matchup. And then I love Drew Holiday. And then, Drew Holiday has a very good chance of stopping Harden, especially where Harden's at now. But then at that point, you still have Tyrese Maxey and Tobias Harris as to where the Bucks have, like, Bobby Portis.
Yeah, we'll see. I think the series is going to 6 or 7 for sure.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be a very
I think tonight is very, very, very crucial in how this goes out.
Yeah, I say, as much as I hate to say, if the Bucks win this game, they're probably going to win the series. I mean, going up 3-1.
And Giannis has closed pretty well in his career.
Yeah. with that's kind of all I have on basketball.
Quickly, though, I just want to say that Giannis is going to have to do what he did in the last game tonight. That's the only way they're going to win. He needs 40.
He's going to need that, and he's going to have to pray that Tatum doesn't play well.
Doesn't play well, yeah. They're going to have... Who was on Tatum? I want to ask you this.
Wesley Matthews actually held Tatum to 1 for 10.
No way.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
He's always been a solid defender. I mean, he was a really good defender back in his days in Portland, but he's fallen off a lot since then, but he's still an okay defender.
I was critical of the Bucks coaching going into this series. I think we talked about them.
I've been critical of the coaches, of the Bucks coaching for
years.
5 years now.
However, that's a smart play. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, no Middleton. I'd rather have Holiday on Jalen for size.
Yep.
And then
Giannis is on.
Just in the paint. Giannis
just stands there.
Basically.
Rudy Gobert.
Well, no, because Giannis can actually play in the perimeter.
But, all right, you want to do?
Yeah, we'll go to a break quick.
No, let's do Pirtle for Podol.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. Okay. Podol.
Oh, I'm gonna say this on the show right now. The Bucks win the series. I'm getting a Giannis jersey.
You're getting Giannis.
What Giannis jersey should I get? I like the one.
Get the cream team ones.
No, you know, like the city edition ones with like the antler logo on the chest and then the blue and black stripe.
I'd get that or like a throwback.
I was thinking that. Dude, last playoffs and this year has made me fall in love with Giannis. I'm becoming a simp.
Yeah. All right, so we got Podol, RJ Barrett. It's a forward or a guard.
Oh my goodness.
Either 6'5" or 6'4", but he wears the number 9 and he's out west. So I never go by numbers because I can never remember that. Who's a guard out west? That's pretty cool. I know D'Angelo Russell doesn't wear 9, but I'll go D'Angelo Russell.
That's such a random player.
Okay, well we have a lot now.
Yep.
So he's a forward. He's a 6'4" forward in the west who wears number 9. Who is 6'4", a 6'4" forward, who's also older than 26. So we have quite an old fella on here.
Fella.
Trying to think. I don't know. Will Barton. Okay.
Interesting.
That did nothing. Well, actually, no. We have his age. He's 32 or 33. He's 32 or 33.
He's an old. Just think of an old forward.
There's a lot of those. Like Wayne Ellington. Well, that did a lot. Okay.
Smooth.
So we have a 32 or 33-year-old 6'4" forward
on the Lakers
who wears number 9. Oh, it's Stanley Johnson, I think. Nope, he doesn't wear. Who wears number 9 on the Lakers?
Run through the starting 5.
Westbrook? God, no.
0.
Talon Horton Tucker? No. He wears not 9. I know he doesn't wear 9. Melo, no. LeBron, no. AD, no. Wayne Ellington, we know, no. Stanley Johnson, no. Oh, is it? Wait, no. Oh, I don't know why I said Stanley Johnson. He's old. It's not Trevor Ariza. He's not 6'4", unless he is. I don't think so. Who could this be?
It's a forward. Chip.
Oh, it's Kent Bazemore.
Oh,
it's Kent Bazemore. Everyone's favorite Kent Bazemore.
Just look at
Just look at him.
Look at his cute face.
That's all I gotta say. Just look at him. Good heavens! All right, break time.
All right, all right, everyone. We're going to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your MLB action where I get to update you on Nestor Cortez. Currently still going on with a no-hitter right now, which is unbelievable.
Ooh, the Rangers! Wow.
Corey Kluber no-hit the Rangers last year. I remember.
Then he never did anything.
No, I think he got hurt in the next start and never played. He's playing this year though. Well, we'll be back from the break when we get to talk about that, the other MLB action, your hockey playoffs. Might be an early show today, so definitely stay tuned.
Hockey.
Yep.
Groundbreaking radio. Ooh, stick cereal. I gotta have some.
Stupid bunny. Sticks are intended for children.
Just give me a little.
He touched me inappropriately.
Welcome back to WQKE.
Are we not going to talk about that ad?
Nope, we're not going to talk about that. We don't control that.
Okay, cool.
We're going to go right into our... We want to do hockey or baseball first?
Baseball.
All right, so it's been a pretty good couple days of baseball. The Yankees had a couple games canceled. Nestor Cortez was just throwing a no-hitter through 8 innings. I turned the game on and allows a hit in the first at-bat I watched. So that was pretty cool. But besides that, We always do. We'll run through the standings, and I have a couple of different storylines I would like to go over. First, in the AL East, the Yankees standing on top of a 19-8 record. They split against the Rangers yesterday in a doubleheader. Currently playing them right now, tied at 0 through 8 innings. Rays behind them at 18-11. I'm pretty impressed with the Rays. They had a really disappointing offseason and have still come around. They still have like probably the best management in the entire league, and that's why they're able to do this every year. But like they do this, they're very, very impressive. Then behind them are the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays definitely haven't been successful after I can't remember the exact numbers, but they won their first significant amount of series in a row, and we talked about this on the last show. Then the Yankees were able to take them down. We'll come back to the AL East in a couple of minutes. The Twins are on a tear up top the AL Central with an 18-11 record. Behind them are the White Sox sitting at 14-13. The Guardians 14-14. The Guardians have the highest average amongst all teams in the MLB right now, yet are a 500 team, which goes to show that hitting really can only get you so far.
Yeah.
And then my favorite thing ever, top the AL West, the Angels. Love to see it. 19-11 record. Behind them in the division. The Angels, Astros, Mariners, Rangers, and Athletics. Behind them are the Astros, who are one game or really half a game back on them right now. I just love the Angels. I love Mike Trout. I love Shohei Ohtani. I love Anthony Rendon. I want to see that team be successful at some point, but I don't feel like it'll ever happen. Mike Trout is going to go his whole career without winning a chip.
I'd hope not.
I love Mike Trout. Is just so cool. All right, NL East. This is one of the storylines I want to talk about. How is this division so bad?
Stop hating.
It is.
Mets better.
It is horrible.
Mets better.
Up top, the Mets, who are 20-10.
Yep.
Which
Let
obviously,
it be known.
Yeah.
Let it be known.
Behind them are the Braves, who are 14-16.
Mid.
Yeah, below mid, obviously. And then behind them are the Mariners, who are 13, or Marlins, excuse me, who are 13-15. The Phillies, 12-16. Really, I want to say disappointed with the Phillies, but that's definitely a little surprising. I mean, we all knew that they're a very hitting reliant team. Brought in Kyle Schwarber, right? And that was something we talked about too. And then behind them are the Nationals, who are 10-20. It's unbelievable the Nationals have 10 wins. That team is horrible.
That's pretty crazy to think, considering that they won the World Series, 2-3 years ago?
Yeah, but they went all in on it.
Yeah, I know.
That's the definition of going all in on a World Series. Even that offseason they lost. See, that offseason they lost Rendon. And then the only essentially good players they have left is like Juan Soto. I think Steven Strasburg's still.
Yeah.
No, it's Strasburg.
No, the Nationals have Soto. They have Josh Bell. They have D. Gordon. I think they might have Strasburg. I'm not sure.
I'm gonna look it up quickly.
I know they have Nelson Cruz.
Yep, he's still on the Nats.
I mean, that's not on paper. That's not a bad roster.
Yeah, but baseball's all about 1 through 9.
Yeah,
you can't just have 2 good hitters. The Angels are a great example of that.
I mean, look at the Rangers. They have Seager and Semien.
And they're still terrible.
Pretty bad.
Yeah, 11-15 record. The Brewers up top the NL Central with a 19-10 record. I'm very, very impressed with this Brewers. Another team that kind of had a very mediocre offseason and really turned the corner. Behind them are the Cardinals with a 16-12 record. Besides that, they're terrible. The Cubs are horrible. They have a 9-18 record. But if it makes sense because they've lost literally every piece of that 2016 team. Then the best record in baseball in the NL West. This is the hardest division in all of baseball to play. Just up from every team in this division has an above 500 record. Dodgers 19-7, rightfully so. I really am starting to ride the Dodgers winning the World Series train. I don't really know what teams can even stop them anymore. I mean, it's very early on, granted, but you just look at you knew it from the start of the season. You just look at their pitching, you look at their starting lineup. That is a hard team to shut down. They can kill you 1 through 9. Behind them are the Padres, 19-10. Good little run for San Diego. Obviously,
they don't have Tatis.
Yep, and last season, remember that they. Oh, that's something I forgot to mention. That's why the Braves have that decent record. Acuna's back.
Yeah.
Did you see Acuna hit the silencer? Oh, okay, sorry. The Padres, remember last season, were one of the better teams in all of baseball after the first half of the season, then just fell apart in the second half of the season. So, and I remember that was there was a lot of morale issues and there was a lot of questioning of Machado and Tatis, whatever. So, I mean, it would be great to see them keep up the pace. Or one of those young teams really built themselves through a farm, obviously excluding Manny Machado.
Yeah.
Behind them are the Rockies, who are 16-12, another team that you were really critical of over the offseason. And they, once again, it's still really early, only 28 games in. I think behind them are the Giants, who have an identical record of 16-12. I don't know how to feel about the Giants quite yet. They're one of the strangest teams in all of baseball the last 2 seasons, and here they are in contention in the hardest division to play in the league. And then the Diamondbacks are 15-14. I don't even know how that's even possible. One thing I want to talk about is how are the Boston Red Sox so bad? Maybe I'm going to sound like a hater because I'm a Yankees fan, but they have a 10-19 record. They're among the worst. I believe they're like 20th in team ERA, and like 17th in team average or whatever. They're in the teens in team average. So like they're not doing very well on both sides of the ball. That was a team that had a pretty good offseason, brought in Trevor Story, but now having this kind of season, it kind of questions what they're going to do. I'm really, really happy. I was critical of the Yankees in the moment. I'm really happy they passed on Trevor Story. He's one of those players who kind of hit the market and had a lot of value just because a lot of teams needed shortstops, and now look at him, he's kind of been a little bit average. I don't have his stats in front of me. You want to take a quick look at the stats leaders, Desmond?
Sure.
I think, yeah, Manny Machado is still leading all of baseball with a 385 average, which is absurd for a power hitter.
He is him.
It's only, like I said, it's only been like 30 games, but that's still really, really impressive. And then Joe Musgrove. I mean, like I said, the Padres have been on a tear lately, so Joe Musgrove has 4 wins, and that's kind of key to that. Behind him, or tied with them, is Max Scherzer. There's like 5 pitchers who are tied with, or more than that, with 4 wins.
Yeah.
Walker Buehler's in there. I love Walker Buehler. Home runs, Anthony Rizzo's still on top. He's tied with a bunch of people. Aaron Judge is 9. Byron Buxton has 9. A couple more names in that mix. Pablo Lopez. I can't even believe Pablo Lopez is a 1 ERA this season. That's absurd. That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
RBIs, Jose Ramirez, 30 RBIs. Like I said, we talked about before. Definitely someone who's in that MVP conversation all year. But besides that, that's pretty much it with baseball. We'll keep you updated on Wednesday, kind of going into the weekend. The Yankees are currently playing right now. I think they're bottom of the 8th. So, yeah, they ended up getting out of that inning. Like I said, Nestor Cortez was throwing a no-hitter. You want to do a quick game of Wardle?
Sure.
Wardle? Whatever.
Wardle.
Let's start with Nestor. All right.
My game's got to load.
American League, right-handed, 27.
Okay. No, he would be the NL, National League.
No, it's yellow on AL East.
Yeah, but that is... Oh, wow, excuse me.
I was about to say, I don't know.
Okay. So...
Let's go Byron Buxton.
Byron Buxton.
Okay. Not AL Central,
Okay.
but he's right-handed. He's not a pitcher or center fielder.
That is so crazy that Byron Buxton is 28.
Yeah.
He seems so young. Okay, so what do we have? NL
West. So Angels, Astros. It's not outfield. Let's go with Anthony Rendon. We were just talking about him.
Anthony. Well, no, it says from the United States. Is he from the U.S.?
Whatever.
He is.
I want to see.
Third baseman. Okay, that. AL West, third baseman. What are the teams?
Alex Bregman. Boom!
Is it Alex Bregman?
Yes.
It's Alex Bregman.
That was an easy one.
Yeah.
I was about to say, third baseman, that would leave us Angels. It's Alex Bregman. That would leave us Angels, Rendon, Astros, Alex Bregman. That's who we just got. Sorry. Yeah. Athletics. I don't even know who their third baseman is. Rangers, Seager. Or is Seager playing short?
I think Seager's at third.
I don't know. And then Mariners, which I'd have to look that up. So, I mean, our options were pretty limited there. That was a good game of Wardle right there.
Yeah.
All right. We have 20 minutes left, but we're just going to talk about hockey quickly and send you guys out a little early.
You got this one.
It's been an awesome weekend of playoff hockey. Playoff hockey never fails to disappoint, folks. There's like 4 series. There's 8 series right now, and like over half of them are tied at 2-2 right now. That is goes to show how cool playoff hockey is. Let's talk about the games last night. The Bruins went on an absolute tear, beating the Hurricanes 5-2. Brad Marchand, 2 goals, 3 assists. That's a have a night. Brad Marchand, series tied 2 apiece. I was initially high on the Hurricanes, but like I kind of was under the impression that like the Bruins just refused to die. I do really have faith in the Hurricanes going forward, just because they're just younger and I don't know. I don't really like banking on these teams that are older. But like I said, the Bruins have experience. They've been to the Cup within 3 years? Yeah, 4 years, sorry. Excuse me on that one. Blues and Wild tied at 2 apiece. I did not think this series was going to end up like this. I really did think that I had a lot of faith in the Blues, but the Wild are kind of proving themselves going up 2-1 there, or 2-1 or 2-0, I can't remember. But the Blues tied it last night with a 5-2 win. Jordan Binnington having 28 saves. That guy was godly in his last play or in their cup run a couple years ago, and it's good to see him kind of turn it around. This is one of my favorite series is this Lightning Maple Leafs, which is a series which has been an offensive shootout, kind of this. A lot of people have been calling for that Maple Leafs upset. I don't really buy it quite yet. And last night's kind of an example of that. They came back to tie the series 2-2 with scoring 7 goals on the Maple Leafs. The Maple Leafs' lack of defense really proving. Victor Hedman had 2 assists. That guy's an absolute machine in the playoffs. Plus, he had a +4, which is a ridiculously good game. I mean, when you score 7 goals, I guess it's natural and you're the best defenseman on your team, but still.
Yeah.
Final game of the night was Kings and Oilers. Kings with a shutout to tie the series at 2 apiece. Like I said, 4 games last night. All of them led to 2-2 ties in the series, what I'm saying is like, there's not a lot of sweeps in hockey is kind of what I'm getting at. Like, playoff hockey is always a notoriously long playoff, or it's the longest of all the major North American sports playoffs, and like you kind of these series that are really long grinds, and that's what we've seen so far. Like, a lot of people want them to shorten the first round to a best-of-5 series because they just take forever. But I think I'd keep it 7 games. That's kind of the thing that I love about hockey playoffs is like when you make it to the Stanley Cup, you are never ever the team that you were when you entered the playoffs. You were just you're so like battered and beaten. Yeah. Zdeno Chara played it in the Cup in 2019 that year I was talking about. He played with a broken jaw, I believe, like a legit broken jaw. I think Patrice Bergeron, who's also on the Bruins, played in 2011. I think was the year with a punctured lung. Played in the playoffs. Yeah,
yucky.
But basketball players don't do that. I'm just kidding.
Also, different between skating and running.
I'm just kidding. I love like the Twitter debates. Like, I see this graphic all the time everywhere on Twitter, on hockey Twitter. That's like LeBron didn't play in that game because he cramped. Patrice Bergeron played with a punctured lung. It's different sport. Hockey players are really, really, really tough though. That's kind of
I mean, it's obviously a more physical sport than basketball ever has and ever will be.
This has been one of the biggest surprises of the playoffs is the Capitals up 2-1. One of our professors actually was calling the upset on that series, believe it or not. Jacek? Yeah, was calling the upset on this series.
That's right.
And the Capitals put on their offensive performance when they were at home on Saturday night, up 2-1. I mean, I think this is a series that's going to end up being pretty close in my mind. I don't think the Capitals are going to even come close to winning out. It'd be really cool to see the Panthers win. I love their team. I love Huberdeau. I love Barkov. However, I mean, this Capitals team experience kind of knows how to play in the playoffs. For some reason, they brought back Marcus Johansson, who had a goal and assist in that game. And obviously, when you have Ovi, that's a good thing to have. You can kind of have a good goal scorer and always a constant shooter. Avalanche up. Just when I say there aren't a lot of sweeps in the hockey playoffs, the Avalanche are up on the Predators 3-0. Sweeping, though, in the first round isn't good, though, because typically you sweep and then you have to wait like a week and a half to play. And a lot of teams, like I remember this happened to the Islanders a couple years ago, kind of come out of the second round really slow because you've only been scrimmaging your own team for a week and a half.
Yeah. However,
it's cool to see the Avalanche, just another team I really, really love. This has probably been the most entertaining series is our next one, Rangers and Penguins. Kind of like, this is like the classic, like, new school versus old school, if that makes sense. Like, the Penguins are a really kind of old school team. Sidney Crosby, Jake Guentzel's teams won like 2 straight, like 5 or 6 years ago. While the Rangers are kind of a new team led by Shesterkin. His name is Shesterkin, which I think is a pretty cool name. He's also like one of the best goalies in hockey. 7-4 win for the Penguins the other night. This was almost a near choke job. The Penguins up 4-1, then the Rangers came roaring back to tie it at 4 apiece. My step-uncle was going crazy at this game because he's a big Rangers fan. But the Penguins ended up getting the job done, scoring 3, and it was a really, really entertaining game. I really enjoyed watching this game. And then probably one of the least interesting series for me are the Flames and Stars. I just don't have any emotional connection to any of the players in this series. Joe Pavelski did score 2 goals in this game as the Stars lead 2-1, getting a 4-2 win against the Flames the other night. We'll quickly go over the games tonight. Panthers-Capitals tonight. This is a really, really crucial game with the 2-1. We've talked about this. 2-1 in the playoffs. That's a game.
To me, the most must-win, like, important games are
4 and 5.
Are a game 3 or a game 4 if it's 2-1, and then any game 5. Game 5 is the most important game in the series.
Yeah, absolutely. And so this is that game 4 2-1 series. The Panthers are one of the best teams coming into this playoff. They need to get their redemption shot. It is hard to win in DC. You should watch like a playoff game at the Capitals Arena. It's in DC. Yeah, it's like Capital One Arena, and it is like loud. Their goal horn is loud. It's like a sea of red there. Any team with red colors just looks so menacing in the stands. Like that's that's one of the stadiums in hockey I wouldn't want to play in, or just like in the playoffs. Obviously, the Bell Center in Montreal is obviously notoriously hard because they have such a passionate fan base. Game 4, another 2-1 lead for the Penguins. One of my closest buddies actually coming here next semester because he's graduating high school. So he might make an appearance on this show at some point. He's a big Penguins fan. I know he'll be watching. This is a absolutely crucial game. And then Game 4 between the Avalanche and Predators. Like I said, Avalanche leading 3-0. This game doesn't really matter. I mean, either the Avalanche sweep or they've been national wins. And then Flame Stars, like I said, Dallas leading 2-1. I don't really want to make a prediction on the Avalanche or Flames game because I just don't know those teams well. I really have faith in the Penguins tonight. I think the Penguins are going to try to close out and go up 3-1. I want to say the Panthers are going to get their one back, but it doesn't feel like it. Like their defense just isn't good enough to carry themselves through these playoffs. So there's Liam's playoff update. I think that was a pretty good job. Would your stepdad be proud?
Yes.
Would he be? Is he listening?
I don't know. Probably not right now, but he'll listen when it goes up on YouTube and Spotify.
Definitely tune in. That leads us into our final saying. Definitely tune in to our YouTube, Spotify if you missed this episode or missed parts of this episode.
Yeah. I don't know what I just said. Like I was going to say something. I have nothing to say.
Yeah, I was like, what are you going to say? We're getting done a little 15 minutes early, but that's all right. Nothing wrong with it.
15 minutes, right on the dot.
Yeah, exactly. So tune in Wednesday at the same, or actually it'll be at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock that day, like last week, 2 to 3. But besides that, like we said, follow our Twitter, Sports Report PLT. Desmond's putting up some great stuff on there. I loving it lately. You put up like a poll every week.
Every once or twice a week when I remember, oh hey, I have this account, I should probably be a little more active on it, and I'll decide to put up a poll or a tweet.
I like when you put up polls.
Yeah, sure.
We actually get a decent amount of votes on there. So if you want to be part of that voting, definitely follow that account. Like we said, tune in our YouTube and Spotify. But besides that, have a blessed evening, and we'll see you Wednesday at 2 o'clock.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.